This is how the rebels plan to fight back against Syrian military air raids. They have decided to put their prisoners in cages and scatter them in residential areas as a way to pressure the government to stop targeting Douma. They paraded them in the streets to tell the world that these men and women will be used as human shields. The prisoners are believed to be officers and their families from the Alawite sect.
These are families of Alawite officers. After what happened in the city of Douma and the whole of eastern Ghouta, most people decided to place those prisoners from the Alawite sect and high-ranking regime officers in cages in towns in eastern Ghouta, so they can taste our misery and so they can be targeted by Russian airstrikes, as our children and our women are.
Douma is regularly targeted by government airstrikes. Friday's attack was one of the worst yet. The medical charity Doctors Without Borders says 70 people were killed and 550 others were wounded in what it describes as an extremely violent bombing. The target was a marketplace. It wasn't the first time civilians in residential areas were targeted. In August, more than 100 people were killed in Douma, the opposition's largest stronghold in the Damascus countryside, which is under siege. And a few days ago, a makeshift clinic was also hit.
2 bombs hit the makeshift clinic. It was a direct hit and the patients and staff were killed and injured. The clinic is 5 kilometers from the front line. We can no longer operate and we used to treat about 5,000 patients a month.
The fighting has intensified amid efforts to find a political solution. UN Special Envoy Staffan de Mistura visited Damascus following the talks in Vienna, where world powers and regional rivals discussed Syria. They called for a nationwide truce and the renewal of peace talks. At the same time, there are efforts by some members of the UN Security Council to enforce a resolution to stop bombs by Syrian government forces. Britain's ambassador to the UN said it is important for what he called the indiscriminate bombing to stop because it kills and terrorizes. It's also one of the causes for the flood of refugees from Syria. But Russia has made clear it will oppose any resolution because it believes it will jeopardize diplomatic efforts that have so far failed to end the war. Zeina, Khodr, Al Jazeera, Beirut.